Okay, welcome back. So we went through a draft. We didn't get a huge amount of relevant rares and mythic rares. We did pick up a couple of very nice mythic rares for constructed, but in terms of what we actually got to play with, it's a bit of a mess. I'm not convinced this is right for my play style. I'm also not convinced that it's a particularly powerful deck. When we look at the balance here, almost everything is coming in at the 2-drop level. There's a couple of 6-drops, but very, very little going on in this area. It's quite low on creatures. So yeah, I'm not convinced that this is going to be an amazing deck, but we'll sorry, wrong thing. We'll give it a go. We'll see what happens. So let's go into round 1. I don't know about everyone else, but I've been having a very long wait. No, there we go. I was going to say we've been having very long wait times to get games today, but 8 seconds, that's really not too bad at all. Well, all 3 of our Blade Brands appear in the opening hand. We've got a creature that we can play on turn 4, and we've got a Heartpiercer bow to get out. You know what? It sounds stupid, but I'm actually going to keep this and see where it goes, because 2 lands gets us to a creature, and we've got a lot of 2-drops in there. But we can bring out the bow on turn 2 and maybe equip it to something relatively early. So let's see what happens. Opponent being nice. Hello. Good game. Okay, so we've got both of our colours out. That's nice. Let's bring out the Heartpiercer bow. He's showing blue. Blue has a lot of 1 toughness stuff. Green less, but yeah, there you go. Cerulean Drake. So what shall I do? Well, I'll be bringing out the Anticipate here. Let's see if we can find ourselves. Well, that's lovely. We'll grab ourselves a Thief. So we can play the Thief and maybe equip it, depending on whether we get land, and then that Cerulean Drake is going to be plummeting out of the sky. Unless he's got a counter, of course. No, there we are. So let's equip this. And that's our turn. Well, that's a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And we may find that we're playing the Dread Presence next turn instead of the Thief. If we get a swamp in hand, that's definitely going to be my play. And again, that Cerulean Drake won't survive the turn if that happens. We don't. And I think I would rather get the Thief out for the card draw and equip the bow to it. And of course, next turn, if I attack with the Thief, the Brightwood Tracker presumably blocks, but the Cerulean Drake dies, and so does the Brightwood Tracker when I Blade Brand. So there's definitely a couple of options here in terms of what I'm planning on doing. That's not ideal. The Brightwood Tracker can now kill the Audacious Thief. I believe it can fight. Oh, it's not even fighting, it's just dealing direct damage. So I'm expecting the Thief now to die. Yeah, there we go. So, come on, a Swamp. Swamp would be nice. No. But Metropolis Sprite shuts down the Cerulean Drake in the air, or we bring out this, which is not going to be impacted as much by Vivian on the board. So I think this potentially again lets me take down either one of his creatures next turn, depending on what I want to do. Possibly even both. Assuming, of course, that he doesn't have another unsummon, and I'm going to be tempoed out of this one. Sometimes when people say nice like that to me, they mean nice, watch what I'm about to do to it. And that always gets a bit frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, I had forgotten, of course, that the creatures that I was about to kill next turn are going to suddenly be more powerful, which is a bit of a pain. But if I bring out the Metropolis Sprite and then sit on defense, then I can still kill the Cerulean Drake with Blade Brand, and that potentially is the right move here. Or I can play a Swamp and kill the Cerulean Drake now. Or kill Vivian now. In fact, let's just get rid of Vivian. Happy days.
Anger only gets me so far.
That's not bad then. So where do I sit now? Well, if I bring out the Sprite, then I've got a threat on the board for dealing with the Cerulean Drake. Now, it doesn't look like there's a threat on the board at the moment from his perspective, because the Sprite is only a power 1 creature. But of course, with 3 Blade Brands in my hand, if he attacks, I can kill either creature. I'm not actually going to attack at this point, because that just leaves my Dread Presence to die. Okay, so next turn, I can certainly kill off. Most of what he's got if I'm careful. So if he attacks this turn with the Cerulean Drake, trying to go through the Metropolis Sprite, I'll Blade Brand that. Then next turn, attack back with Dread Presence. If I've managed to draw something, then that could kill the Spectral Sailor and the Brightwood Tracker. So it leaves me potentially much better off than I am now. Oh no, that's interesting. He's attacking with both. So do I just block the Spectral Sailor? I think I do. Force him to do something. So he can respond to this with a Growth Cycle. But that then gets a combat trick out of his hand. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and another Heart Piercer Bow. That's lovely. So, I think in this instance I anticipate, because I want another option here. That's nice because it lets me kill something. What am I going to kill? I'm going to kill the Brightwood Tracker. Nifty little trick, that one, I think. So, now what do? Now I attack. And I kill that pup, because why not? He can block with the wolf if he wants, I don't mind. And let's get the second bow out. This now acts as a threat to both of his creatures. And I think this helps me to stabilise. This means that I'm now in a very, very good shape, unless he throws out a massive creature, in which case I've still got that Blade Brand, so drawing another Swamp means that I get to just kill it outright. And if it's not a flyer... Oh, he's got Flood of Tears as well. That's really annoying. Well, let's bring out Tonebound Lich. And a Heart Piercer Bow. That was not what I had in mind. Cancel? Yeah. Let's play the island. And the Heart Piercer Bow. And attach that to the Lich. How did that end up in the graveyard? What did I do? What did I do to get that there? That all got very confusing for a moment. Someone tell me if you noticed what I did that got this into the graveyard rather than in my hand, because Yeah, I'm confused now. Well, that's a nice thing to have out there. So I'm going to dread presence because why not? And just on the off chance that he's got a combat trick, oh he doesn't because he's got nothing in hand. Oh, I know what happened. Was I over 7 cards? Did I discard that into the graveyard? That's probably it. But yes, if I play the Swamp and kill the Sedge Scorpion, then attack with the Tonebound Lich and kill the Cerulean Drake, that sounds like the right course of action here. So let's start killing things. And continue killing things. And what have I got in the graveyard? Could bring back the Thief and the Sprite. That strikes me as a decent idea. Draw a card, then discard a card. What do I get rid of? I'll get rid of that. That's an obvious one. But let's bring back Sprite and Thief. Both of those potentially have great utility for the rest of this game. So, opponent's Flood of Tears, I think, damaged them a hell of a lot more than it damaged me in this instance. My board state is now considerably better. And there's that Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. Now that's potentially a nice one to have. But shall I just bring out the Sea Serpent? I don't see any reason why not. Let's bring him out. And we can shift that. We can, but there's no real need to. Let's just attack. Because he's got no combat tricks in hand. So he can either block and die, or he can take the damage. And I've just got a decent defender. Still not enough to get through the Serpent. Bit annoyed that I don't have 2 bows still. So whatever I'd ended up doing, if it was that was dumb. But I can of course attack with the Tonebound Lich and Fathom Fleet Cutthroat to kill the Frostlynx when he inevitably won't block with it, I'm guessing. So let's do that. Let's attack with him. Let's attack with him. I suspect he's not going to block the either of them with the Frostlynx. I suspect that he'll chump block the Sea Serpent with the Wolf. Oh, he is. Okay, ooh, fair enough. Didn't really see that coming. Okay with it. You know, the Lich was always a bit of a wild card, bit of a disappointment in this deck. So I'll bring out the Thief instead. That's going to be nice going forward. Bring out the Sprite. That's also nice. And let's attach the bow to the Sprite. That can come in over the top and I don't have to worry about what he's defending with. Unless he brings out a spider. Which he doesn't. Opponent, I think, is making a mistake playing all of those lands because he's telling me exactly what he's got in hand. So I know for a fact that he doesn't have the anything that's actually helpful to him. So yeah, I mean this is just an attack with everything, isn't it? I don't need to Blade Brand. I lose the Thief, but never mind, I still win. Okay, well that deck came together okay. I got some good draws, but I don't think I played the best possible hand that could have had. So yeah, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it was. Let's go straight into match 2 and find out. Oh, look at that. Just 10 seconds that time. Chandra versus Khan. Oh, that's not nice. all of the wrong colour for all of these cards. I've got some great early casts here, but I can't guarantee drawing a swamp. Even though it's a sixth of my deck, if it takes me 2 turns to draw one of them, can I keep this? I was talking myself out of it, but actually thinking about it, I think I can keep it because the most likely thing I'm going to draw in 2 turns is a swamp. Let's risk it. If I don't end up being able to cast anything for 3 or 4 turns, then I will know that I've played that one wrong. And at least I can get the Heartpiercer Bow out early. Oh, someone else playing my colour and also the Heartpiercer Bow. Oh, 2 Heartpiercer Bows. Still no creatures to attach it to. That's potentially all sorts of bad times. Oh god. This is bad. I have 7 islands in this deck and 4 of them have come out in the initial hand and the first 3 turns. Oh no. Oh. I made a mistake, didn't I? I definitely should have mulliganed. Should have ignored the fact that I had loads of good stuff I could play early if I got a swamp, and thought, well, you don't have any now. I should have done something about it. Right. I suspect this is going to be a very, very boring game for me and for the opponent because, well, nothing is going to happen here. The only damage I've managed to do so far is as a result of him attacking with his Audacious Thieves. I am annoyed at that. It's that wasn't good. I think I'm just dead. Yeah, I mean, when you don't draw anything in your colour, you can't win, can you? So that's a lesson. That's you know, I shouldn't have played that hand. But then again, you know, the odds, every single draw there, the odds were greater than 1 in 6 that I should have been drawing a swamp, and I had 6 draws that didn't lead to anything. Nevertheless, I think that was stupid, and I am going to learn my lesson, I think. I don't have both of my sources. There we go, that's both of my sources. And a Dread Presence. And a Heartpiercer Bow. Yeah, I'm happy with that. For the moment, I'll get rid of the Blade Brand, because I've got loads of those, and I'm definitely not in the mood to find myself mana screwed again, so I'm keeping all of that land. So I now know I can cast my 4-drop when it comes around. And I've got a decent chance of casting that 6-drop. Okay, the Spectral Sailor, fine. If I can get a creature, it dies. So here, just in case anyone was curious, I was playing my islands because I know that when this comes out I want to be able to play swamps. That's going to be quite fun to equip when my Dread Presence gets out. If he hasn't got something that kills it, and there is no lightning bolt, so shock doesn't kill it, then I'm going to be attacking back and doing some nasty things to his creatures. This comes out first. Blood Burglar can come out next turn, and I can still equip both Heartpiercer Bows to Dread Presence, so it makes perfect sense to attack, or to bring out the Dread Presence first, use my mana efficiently. I suppose the other thing I could have thought about is attaching them both to that in the same turn, because it's got lifelink, so when it's going to attack it's going to get 2 damage, or 2 life back for me, but yeah, I much prefer this idea. I've got something a bit stronger out, and if I draw a swamp, then I can attack and kill the Thicket Crasher. Well, he's attacking with that. Well, I'm not going to block anything there. Doesn't make a lot of sense to lose my Dread Presence at this point. That's a bit of a shame, but, well, time to kill some stuff. So I might as well kill his mana. Bring this out to block the healer. And potentially to counter attack on the next turn. Because if he does the usual thing and attacks with Thicket Crasher and Spectral Sailor, then Blood Burglar attacking back gets its lifelink, doesn't act as a blocker next turn, but that's more efficient than blocking Healer of the Glade. Well, I mean, it's not great for future turns for me, but that is rather nice to see when opponents turn like this one. There's no creatures out, and that's beautiful. So with that, I get to kill the Thicket Crasher and the Spectral Sailor in one go. So that's absolutely perfect. Attacking back, that dies, that dies. Nice. Very happy with that outcome. And of course, I'm one mana away from being able to Flood of Tears, which may be quite useful with that out. But I'm only 2 mana away from being able to Meteor Golem, so that's potentially better, isn't it? So the question here is, do I attack with the Dread Presence, bring the Air Elemental down to 2 life, and then whichever one it blocks, it dies, and then I can bring out the Tomebound Lich, which acts as a very nice defender. Yeah, I think that's the play. I'm not going to get too precious over the Dread Presence. It's a nice card, but I don't want to just sit back and do nothing with it. So let's see. He should block. Yep, there we go. And Tomebound Lich comes out. Skeleton comes out. What just happened there? Why did it go into the graveyard? Was that already in the graveyard, or did I just accidentally bring that out and kill it? Oh no, wait, sorry, again, same thing happened. Tomebound Lich came out, it says to discard a card, so I discarded Sanitarium Skeleton, which incidentally is the card that I would have discarded, so that's excellent news. So let's get these onto the Burglar so that the Lich can act as a defender in this instance. Ah, that's absurd levels of Bodum. Yep, opponent had enough. With 3 Heartpiercer bows out, there's not an awful lot that I can't kill, and with a Death Touchers out as well, yeah, it's that was going to be painful if they carried on, unless they had some very, very big creatures, which obviously aren't going to do an awful lot with a Death Toucher on there. I haven't really done much in the way of Simic Flash, but Frilled Mystic could be quite a nice addition. Okay, 2-1. Not bad for a deck that I thought had come together pretty badly, all in all. So let's see where this goes. Random luck. Could have done with some of that in game 2. Oh, look at that. Right. Am I going to have learned my lesson? Probably not, because I've got 3 lands here and I've got 2 playables, so I only need 1 more land to get Dread Presence out. Don't need any more lands to get this out, and any island lets me use both of those. So yeah, showing that I just flat out do not learn. Here I go. And this is one of those times, of course, where potentially Evolving Wilds there would have made a lot of sense. Naturally, I'm going to attack. I want that Scorpion out of the way, and I can just bring the skeleton straight back from the graveyard if I want to. So I can't see any reason at all not to be attacking there. He can attack back for 1. That doesn't bother me. He can attack back with a combat trick for more than 1. That still doesn't bother me. Gets that out of the way. There we go. This is 1. What's he going to bring out? A Prismite. I'm very happy to be attacking through that. Lovely. And a Blood Burglar. So I don't need the Blade Brand here, because if he blocks he dies anyway. Which he shouldn't do, because if he's using that for mana fixing, he doesn't want to. And there's a defender. Now maybe I should have kept the skeleton on defense there, because if the skeleton's defending, the prismite can't attack, whereas if he attacks with the prismite now, I've got to make a decision as to whether I keep the blood burglar or not, because it is quite a useful lifelinker. That said, I probably wouldn't block, because if he holds back the Sedge Scorpion, he's probably waiting for an opportunity to kill the blood burglar, which I'd be happy to give him, because again there's other stuff in the deck that I don't want him to do. So do I take that damage, or do I attack through it? I think I kill the Scorpion at this stage, because... In fact, no, I'm just going to let him through, because I think he's gearing up a combat trick there. I think he's expecting that I'm going to block. Yeah, okay, that's not yet a threat, so I don't care about that. Okay, now I'm in the point where, yeah, I wish that I'd maybe mulliganed and got something that had an island. So the reason why I'm more keen on attacking here, kills his mana fixing, but also it gets me the life link, so I get back some of that life that I might otherwise lose, and it lets me have longer to get out my my better game winner stuff. So that was a bit of a disappointing turn. Didn't draw a land. Haven't drawn a land in a while. In fact, I don't think I've drawn a land all game. Now that's not ideal. That's really not ideal. Because now, of course, he can equip that and attack, and he can kill anything that's a 2-drop or less powerful. So yeah, the skeleton's going. The plus side, I suppose, is that the skeleton can just be recycled straight back into my hand. So it's going to die now, but I'm going to bring it back. And I'm mana screwed. Oh, bloody hell, that's bad. So yeah, I really need to be bringing out either my Dread Presence or my Fathomfleet Cutthroat at this point. But I can't, because I've got no land draws so far this game. And apparently that is not changing. So that's what, 5 missed land draws. That's pretty bad. Is it now 6 in fact? No, I think it's still 5. I think I'm just giving up at this point. I'm not coming back from that. When you just don't get the draws you need, what can you do? That was just bad luck in terms of probability. The chances of going 6 turns in a row without drawing a land in a deck that's got 17 lands out of 40 is pretty low. Okay, we've got both sides of our mana spectrum here. We've got some we've got a play that is already possible, and we've got 3 plays that are possible with 1 more land draw. So we've got 1 play that's actually possible based on how we did last game. Let's hope that we do a little bit better this time. So the interesting thing about this is that Dread Presence, I think, has made itself known in every game that we've played so far, and it's 1 of 40 cards, which is quite impressive. So yeah, I'm going to bring out the Lich because it gets me a land draw, and I get to throw something back. Let's get rid of one of the Cutthroats. Could be quite useful later, but I have another one in hand, and right now, if he attacks, then he gets hexproof if he takes off that counter, but I don't care about the hexproof. That's nice. Let's bring out the Dread Presence. Not attacking. Don't need to. So next turn, if we bring a swamp out, we're in a pretty decent state. But no, we don't get a swamp. So what do we bring out? So Audacious Thief here wouldn't be a bad play, but it only gets me 1 draw and loses me 1 life, because what's on the other side of the battlefield is enough to block it without even thinking. Cutthroat at the moment doesn't have anything to boost it, so there's no point in bringing that out. So I guess it is, and in fact either of the Cutthroats don't have anything to boost them. So I guess I'm hanging back. I'm sort of hoping he attacks with Thicket Crasher so that I can just kill it, but yeah, I probably wouldn't if I was the opponent. Oh, he is though. Well, it would be rude not to kill it. And yeah, I lose a load of life, but life's a resource. So the bow helps enormously. I'll equip it to the thief, but I'm going to stop. Not going to attack this turn. But next turn he attacks the shaman, and then the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat drops onto the battlefield and kills it. So this isn't great, but I can take it. It's 9 damage, leaves me with 6. Yeah, he might have a combat trick. If he has a combat trick, then maybe I'm dead. But I need both of these on the battlefield, really. And I'm dead. That's a shame. Maybe I should have blocked there, but losing a creature at that point I think would have been more damaging than I could have come back from. And there's my 3 losses. That was a much shorter one this time. Oh well. What did I get as my reward? There's my thief. Angel of Vitality. I've got a few of those in my white life gain deck. There's one of the Cutthroats that's never managed to do anything for me at all yet. Life Chant. I haven't actually used the Life Chanter yet, but I sort of get the impression that it could do very well in my life gain deck. Especially this extra ability, the +X+X, where X is your life total. Quite regularly with my Angel of Vitality, what do you call them? The Leonin Vanguard, Ajani's Pride Mate, that sort of deck. That quite regularly gets my life total up to sort of 40, 50. So a 54, 56 creature smashing across the battlefield would be great. And in that deck I also run what's it called? Is it Sarah's Blessing? One of those ones where it causes the creature to have vigilance, flying, and lifelink. And I think that would just be absolutely hilarious to attach to this particular card. But that's all I've got time for today. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I'll catch you again before too long. Cheers, bye.